Welcome to the Dire Wolf Show, where we believe that America is exceptional and that our constitutional rights should never be infringed. I am Dire Wolf. On our show, we bring you the truth and debunk fake news. If you love laughing at the insanity of the regressive left, sit back and relax. Boy, do I have a show for you.
Welcome back, Wolfpack. It's Fox Trevize here. Tonight, once again, I am joined by myself and a water and maybe a fizzy drink. But Dyer sends his regrets. He's very sorry that he could not be with us tonight. He is a very busy guy. His reason for missing tonight was a little confusing. It was something about his wolves being hungry and the pedos at Netflix needing to be taught a lesson. I'm not really sure how those were related, but oh, wait. Never mind. I see how they're related now. Either way, I do still have a show for you guys tonight. As you can probably see by the titles, we are going to be spending tonight laughing at the Democrats, per usual. But first, I have to thank our sponsors. This show is only possible because of viewers like you. We would especially, well, I guess the royal me, would especially like to thank those of you that donate to us financially, including Kaylette, Ori Main, Nathan, Cameron, Tetris Freak, Slowpoke, Garcia, Thunder Erican, who is a female, the White Lion, who is a lion, Timberwolf, who is a wolf, and of course, the guy that started it all, Dire Wolf, who is not currently feeding Netflix pedos to his dogs right now, at least in a way that is provable in a court of law. Money is not the only way that you can give, though. We also appreciate you guys liking and subscribing to us on DLive, Twitch, and YouTube. And we especially appreciate when you share out links to the channel on any social media platforms you happen to find yourself on, as we do not have an algorithm that shares it out for us. Does the title say Trivia Murder Party? They don't on YouTube, so maybe that's a DLive problem. Probably Dyer's fault, but we'll just go with Dyer's fault. So, some of you guys might have heard that this week was the Democrat National Convention. Oh boy. Oh, come on, man. Hold on a second. Damn. Man, Windows is awful. All right. So some of you guys might have heard that this week is the Democrat National Convention. Tonight is the fourth night. I thought, though it is being reported on Twitter as the third night, I might have missed a night there. I'm not sure. But it is supposed to be the final night, which I think, thank God for that. I think we're all pretty happy that it's the final night. And they're actually live right now. So I'm going to try and pull up the live stream here real quick, and we'll just take a quick look to see what's going on there. How about that? Just give me just a second here. A little bit harder when I got to balance the whole thing on my own. But you guys are forgiving, so you guys will forgive me for that. All right, there we go. I found it. Oh, yeah. This is, yep, live from Milwaukee, guys. Oh no. Oh no. That's just no bueno. Oh God. Oh God, it's still going. It's still going. Why won't it stop? The humanity, guys, the humanity. Jeez, it's just still going. Oh, yeah, it's probably good to cut to the title card there. Okay, well we'll check back in on the TNC the live convention here in a little bit later. But while you guys might not actually believe it, the train wreck that you just saw is actually a market improvement from how the DNC has been doing the last few nights. So if you guys haven't been watching the last few days, no one would blame you, because basically no one else did either. The cable television networks reported a 25% drop in viewership for Monday's opening night as compared to opening night in 2016. And then viewership steadily dropped throughout the week, with last night having half the viewership on cable TV as Monday's numbers. That's a big oof. But being that it was, that it's 2020 and the convention is basically entirely digital because no one can actually be there in person because of COVID, all that stuff, you might think that the online numbers might be a little bit better, but not really. Basically, all the live streams from all the major networks and C-SPAN, none of them were breaking really anything over 100,000. Most of them had in like the low 10,000s for live viewers. If you check the viewership numbers on the clipped out portions or the replays of the full streams, those are all under 500,000, which, I mean, channel like ours would love 500,000 viewers. Not that they'd be monetized, but for a country of 360 million people, supposedly half of them are Democrats, you would think that the viewership would be a little bit higher, a little more exciting. I have we'll talk about what's going to happen next week towards the end of the show, but I have much higher expectations for the RNC. We'll see if they deliver though. Let's see here. So and then, so on the DNC official YouTube channel, like they clipped out small segments of, different speeches and like little parts of the events and stuff like that. And each of those videos has like very low thousands. Some of them are under 1,000. I kept seeing all these like rave reviews of Michelle Obama's speech on, I think it was Monday night or Tuesday night. Not sure which, but there's all these rave reviews about how awesome and amazing the speech was, and like basically no one watched it. The clipped out, the official DNC YouTube page with the clipped version of Michelle Obama's speech had 2,500 views after 48 hours. I mean, realistically, some of Dyer's stuff gets 2,500 views. Maybe not in 48 hours, but like, I mean, come on, it's supposed to be Michelle Obama. She's supposed to be the big famous person, but no one really cared. And let's be honest too, a lot of those views, those are coming from the right, from people looking for those gem moments to meme on and make fun of and point out all the hypocrisy that the Democrat Party loves to have. Okay, yeah, so Triumvirate says the right titles. I think it's just You're Messed Up, Timberwolf. We're going to go with that. Let's see here. So, but boy, were there a lot of those hypocrisy and memeable moments. I've prepared a few that we can check out. But if you have any other favorite moments, let me know in chat. This will not be a comprehensive list. I don't have a staff of dozens to go out there and clip all this stuff for me. So we're not going to be a super long show. But if you have any of your favorite moments from the DNC convention, let me know in chat. So the Democrats started off, as most Americans do, although the Democrats kind of hate America, with the national anthem. Let's see what they had to say with that.
Many of the videos and pictures you're about to see were recorded before COVID, which is why the kids are not social distancing. However, the audio was recorded over the past month. You may rise or kneel if you are able, per your preference.
Oh, that's so great. You can rise or kneel for the national anthem. Thank you, Democrats. They got to hedge their bets on basically everything because they're not. It's really easy for them when they got the media playing defense for them, where they can just stake out every single position. They hate America. They hate the national anthem. They think that the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance are, symbols of like white patriarchy, and we need to tear it down. And they hate all the government institutions. It's institutionalized racism, all that stuff. They really hate all the founding fathers and the founding documents and the founding fabric of the country. But they're also red, white, and blue Americans like you and me, and they're just trying to stake out every position, even though they're all contradictory. And the only way that they're able to do that is because the media will cover for them and not call them out when they've got hypocrisy or double standards or they've got conflicting things. We see this with we saw this a lot with Hillary and Biden, to the extent that he's forming anything coherent at all. But Hillary got in a lot of trouble because she was used back in 2016 because she was used to being able to say things in one state and not have them instantly uploaded to YouTube where other states can see them. And so that's where you were getting a lot of those videos of her having weird accents or having different positions depending on which state she was in. And that all worked out just fine in the 80s and 90s, but it's the 2000s, the 20 knots now. It's 20 teens. That stuff's going to go up on YouTube. And so that is still a problem, but most people who are on YouTube right now, we kind of know what's going to happen. We know that that's what the Democrats do, but the media plays defense for them and never calls it out. So the only place that's ever going to call that out is your alternative medias. Let's see here. So that was for their like intro for the national anthem. There was another clip that I could not find. I saw it on someone else's show yesterday, but I couldn't find the clip. They also did a Pledge of Allegiance earlier yesterday, and at the end of it, well, first off, they clipped out "Under God." They just skipped that line, and then at the end of it, he said, "With liberty and justice for all, eventually." It was like, you guys might as well have just not said the pledge if you're just gonna sit there and like piss all over it, and like clearly you guys hate it. And so that's again, they're playing both sides. They're saying the pledge just because that kind of checks the box for any actual patriots out there that would be, I guess, patriotic and dumb enough to think that the Democrats are patriotic. That kind of checks that box. And then it's also for all the people that hate America, most Democrats. They can see, oh yeah, they're just kind of pissing on the pledge. I kind of agree with that. And so it just checks both boxes, and they're trying to say absolutely anything. They will say anything to get a vote and get elected. Kamala especially, but that's just been she's just the best at it. Like, that's been Democrat policy for a while. Kamala is just one of the better Democrats. Like, and by better, I mean she's like really good at staking out every position and just saying absolutely anything to get herself elected. Just opening up her mouth for everything. Let's see here. So for our next one, I'll give a little bit of context first. So the DNC couldn't actually have people in attendance. So they had live streams of what was supposed to be hundreds of real suckers, Democrats, watching the DNC live streams. And it was supposed to be like this virtual audience thing. A lot of people thought that was kind of cringy. I actually think it was kind of understandable. It kind of seemed like a boomer version of VR chat. It was a little bit funny. I mean, I understand why they had to do that. But they gave, I don't think that they gave cameras, but they had, again, supposed Democrats would, while they were watching the Democrat convention live stream in their living room, they would be filming themselves, and then the DNC was taking those individual streams of people in their living room and then refeeding it back to them in this weird incestuous loop. It's very, very strange if you think about it too hard. But either way, we had a big board was up behind Kamala, which I'll show a picture of this in a second, last night when Kamala was giving some kind of speech, but who knows what she said. It probably was a lot of lies. And so we'll put this up on the screen here. So they put up on the screen behind her this big virtual audience, and it was really sad when we all saw this because there's 5 by 6, so there's 30 spots here, and they couldn't find 30 people. You'll see it with the colored circles here. They had to duplicate several of the streams of the virtual audience because they didn't have they couldn't find 30 people who wanted to be in the virtual audience. I mean, that's pretty sad. That is really sad. So you got 3 sets of duplicates here, which is actually kind of not unheard of for the Democrats. Usually when they can't find enough actual supporters, they tend to just duplicate the ones that they have. Not enough votes, that's not a problem. Just duplicate them and we'll fill out the ranks. It's pretty tried and true Democrat strategy at this point. So, not unexpected. Before we get on to our next one, though, let's see if there's anything interesting going on at the the Democrat convention. We'll switch back to the live stream here. Let's see. Oh no, it's oh man, it's just so painful to watch. Man, I don't know how the Democrats pull the lever for that. Oh yeah, that's a good time to cut. All right, so yeah, seeing that, I'm pretty convinced, you guys. Definitely voting Joe in 2020. Let's see here. So, let's see here. So, as some of you guys know, the prime time hours, the 8 to 10 kind of time frame. That's when the networks are broadcasting the convention. That's when a lot of the live streams are kind of watching it, and that's where a lot of these clips and the big speakers like Michelle and Barack, and that's when they're talking. But the convention actually goes on all day. It's not just from 8 to 10. But that stuff isn't broadcast because that stuff is a little more filled with the radical things the Dems don't really want you to see. You can see it online. It's just not broadcast on the networks. And there have been people who've gone through the arduous journey. Probably have to take a lot of showers afterwards of finding these live streams from the DNC caucuses during the day and seeing what they had to say. There's been a lot of gems in these over the last 3 days. We have some things like DNC representatives saying in no uncertain terms that they do in fact want to defund the police, even though Biden has said multiple times that that's not what his platform stands for. I don't think he's really in control of that, though. Let's see here. They also had another one of them, one of the DNC representatives, one of the Biden campaign representatives actually, said that their goal is unequivocally to dismantle capitalism. That sounds fun. I thought Biden was going to build back better. I don't know. He's going to build back better when they tear down capitalism. We had another fun thing was there was a celeb appearance of anti-Semite and advocate for genital mutilation as a punishment, Linda Saussure. Oh, she's so awesome. I don't know why the Democrats don't pull her out there more often. I mean, come on, anti-Semitism and genital mutilation as punishment. Oh man, she's really living those DNC values. So she made an appearance, which apparently wasn't supposed to happen. And Biden later in the day made a statement that she was actually not invited, which is kind of funny. It's funny to see where the too radical is, and clearly Linda Saussure is a little too radical. Though, again, the Democrat Party right now is just utter civil war because maybe Biden didn't want her there, but someone wanted her there, and that's why she made an appearance. Let's see here. So at one point, there was a black supremacist preacher who warned that all Americans were going to collectively go to hell. I'm not kidding. He actually said all Americans will collectively go to hell if we don't elect Joe Biden. So if we don't elect the party of baby murder to the White House, you're going to go to hell. Black preacher said it. It's very fascinating. But, of all the things that were found in these daytime, not primetime segments, this hidden segments, my absolute favorite had to have been this. Elizabeth Warren, who was verified to be even whiter than CNN contributor Richard Spencer, was selected to represent the Native American caucus. A lot of people, including me, we really thought that this was a joke. I started seeing this run around on Twitter, and I really thought that this frame was a joke. I was like, there's no way. Somebody spoofed this. There is no way. There's no way that they actually picked Elizabeth Warren to represent the Native American caucus. But it turned out that it was real. You guys hear me now? There we go. All right. I need to get new aux cords. My microphone cord falls out a lot. Let's see here. So, apologize, guys. Elizabeth Warren, like I said, she's verified to be even whiter than Richard Spencer. Literally, Richard Spencer did a DNA test once, and he was not nearly as Aryan as he hoped he was. But Elizabeth Warren sure was. So I think it might have been it was real that she was on the Native American caucus, which is just, again, I thought it was a joke. I think it must have been a 1/1024th compromise to get her on there. But, either way, she summed up her appearance as the representative of Native Americans with saying that this, quote, "this is Indian country." That's not a joke either. Let's see here. So, fun fact, for the people who did see this live, the people who were digging around on the internet and watching these caucuses during the day, that, again, the Democrats really don't want you to see, because it kind of lets you into how crazy they are. Some people who found Warren's stream here, they trolled the absolute hell out of chat, dragging her so hard for being selected as the representative of Native Americans, because guess what? She's not Native American. And she lied about being a Native American to get gain, even though gain in the academics, she's still to this day, she is Harvard's first Native American professor. They even call her a woman of color. Look at that color. Jeez. I think they actually, in this one, she's actually kind of reddened it a little bit. You look at whenever you see this with Trump a lot, is they'll make him look oranger. They'll boost the hue a little bit. And you can tell, because if you look in the background, there's usually like a white wall, or you can see like the American flag or something that's like, more of a known color. And you can see that it's been shifted too. And it's funny. I wonder if somebody did, because I pulled this off Twitter. I wonder if someone did this on purpose. But you can see in the background, the walls look a little reddish too. And then her face is a little red. I don't know about that. They do that a lot. They did that with Bernie. I think it was CNN did that with Bernie after he had his heart attack. They really boosted the blues and purples, and it made him look really pale. And you could tell because there was grass in the background, and the grass was purple. And it was like, well, how'd the grass get purple? Well, because they tried to make it look like Bernie was pale. So always look for that when you see Trump on TV and he's looking a little orange, a little red. They probably boosted the hue a little bit. Let's see here. So, yeah, but the people who found Warren's stream were just trolling the hell out of chat, and the DNC ended up disabling chat, which is, again, classic DNC, classic Democrat action, is censorship, of course. And in this case, it was trying to stop a white woman from taking over a people of color's caucus, and the Democrats, you gotta be quiet. No. You can't call that out. You gotta let the white woman take over this Native American caucus. You gotta let her do that, or we're gonna censor you. Let's see here. So, that was fun. That was my favorite part. Let's try. Oh man, really? Dang. All right. Well, I was gonna flip back to the live stream, but the DNC live stream's having problems. We'll try again. Try again in a bit here. I can bet you it's a train wreck. Let's see. Back on night one, you guys may have seen or heard. Unfortunately, probably you did hear about this music video. I know you guys have seen it. I know you guys know what it is. And I promise you I'm not going to subject you to listening to it. But we are going to watch a much better edit of it while I continue discussing it. So we'll let that roll in the background. The extra images, for those of you who don't know, which I find it hard to believe that anybody doesn't know, the original did not have the panels of Antifa rioting in the background, but somebody thought it would be more appropriate to add those to this song here. So I don't. Is there anybody in chat who hasn't seen this? I'm going to guess no. Let's see here. So basically, this music video is awful. The original was. Everybody absolutely hated it. The Democrats, I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if they were ever cool. I was told that the Democrats used to be cool. I don't know. In my lifetime, I've never seen the Democrats be cool. Really, the only political party in my time that were ever like the cool edgy boys would be like the Libertarians, I think. They're about the edgiest that we got. I really never really saw the left as cool and counterculture and all that stuff. I think that they haven't been that for a long time. A lot of people though are trying to say like, well, the Democrats have lost touch. They did used to be cool, but I don't know if they've maybe, again, I kind of reject the idea that they were cool and that they lost touch. I just don't think that they've got anything that they're trying to get in touch with. They're really just throwing everything at the wall right now. Like, they don't have a core group of people. They're staking out every position. They're trying to play both sides and just get anybody and everybody, say absolutely anything to try and get votes, to try and get elected. So Trump's got a message. He's got a defined plan of what he wants to do. He's got a resume of how he's done it the last 4 years. We know what that's going to look like the next 4 years. He's got specific groups of Americans that like America, that he's trying to target for his demographics. And he's got a focused campaign and message. The Democrats don't have any focus. They are trying to court the ultra far Marxist left, like deep radicalization. They're trying to target that at the same time as trying to target moderates, who are just normal people trying to go about their day. There is no way to target those both simultaneously and have a message that has any coherence whatsoever. That's why we're seeing this kind of like cringe, God knows what. They look like they're uncool, that they don't know what they're doing. That's why. It's because there's no target to the message. So the message everybody's seeing is like, that doesn't make sense. And the reason is because it's really not for you. It's like, 1/1024th for you, but none of it's for anybody, and they think that means that it's for everybody, but it's not. Let's see here. So, again, this idea of like fun and cool is supposed to be a left thing, but like that hasn't been true. Well, again, I don't know if that's been true for a long time, but certainly nowadays the fun stuff's more on the right, on the libertarian side of the spectrum, the conservative side as well, and that's the side with all the memes and the fun and the jokes. And Trump seems to have done a pretty good job of leveraging that kind of culture. He seems to have a smart group around him that is working on his campaign. They've had very successful ad campaigns. They've had some very good ads. He's had some very good political ads. There's always going to be the political action committees that put out those, really dramatic, moving still image ads where it's like, somebody did this and they did this and he said that and this is what actually happened, and it's really dramatic. Those are always going to be out there, but a lot of times what we've seen previously is that's kind of the bread and butter of campaign ads. Trump's been putting out some like very high production value campaign ads, and actually this week he bought the entire banner for YouTube. When you go to YouTube's homepage, the very top of it is a banner ad. It's a very, very expensive banner ad, and Trump bought it for 96 hours straight, which covers the whole time that the Democrat convention was going on. And the Democrat convention's all digital, so it's only going to be on YouTube or on the cable networks, and it's only on the cable networks during prime time. So most of the time when it's on YouTube, people are going to try and watch it. They're going to go to YouTube, and the first thing they're going to see when they go to YouTube is Trump bought out the biggest ad space that they have, and it's just rolling his message there, making fun of Biden. There's a bunch of pretty smart ads that he's got up there. I actually watched through a few of them. He's got actually a few inspiring ones. He's got a few funny ones. He's got a few there was one that's a little cringy, but it's a good spread of different kinds of messages. They're all rather effective, and they all have their own meaning to them. That they all have a clear message. There's one where it's about make America great. It's going into buy American, make American, bringing jobs back, economy, and that kind of stuff. That's a pretty focused message. It's all around economics. There's another one that is very targeted on Biden's inadequacies with his mental state. That's very targeted. It's easy to understand. You look at the Democrat messages, and they're just all over the place. They don't have any focus. And that's how they'll run the country, is they won't have any focus. Let's see here. So I have I talked to Dyer about it earlier today and yesterday. We both have some rather high, as pitiful as the DNC has been, we have higher hopes for the RNC, which will be next week. Typically, the Republicans are as boring, if not more boring, than the Democrats. But this year's different because Trump's history is he's a reality TV star. So I have high expectations for him to put on a good show, for him to know. Obviously, when Trump was doing reality TV, he's not the one directing all the stuff, but he knows the people. He knows what kind of person puts on a good reality show, and that's what he needs to find for the RNC. I'm sure he did. And so I have high expectations that he found someone who can put on a really good show that isn't cringy and has a good focused message. So I guess we'll find out next week. It's certainly Trump's the ball's in his court on this one. The DNC was obviously a just total failure train wreck. But the ball's in Trump's court. He could really knock it out of the park. And there's actually today there was released a few new polls that showed that Trump was really, really closing the gap on Biden, which we don't really believe the polls in general, but even the skewed polls, they seem to be like Trump's trending pretty hard in favor right now. So he caught up to Biden in, I think it was like 15 different polls. And these were all polls that have been taken after Biden had announced Kamala last week, which really says a lot about how much everyone really loves Kamala. So I guess we'll see if that pulls through. I don't know if that's a fake or not. It's really, really hard to rely on the polls. And it's really hard to know what they mean. And so I know I'm doing it right now, but we got to be careful not to get excited about polls where it's like Orange Man good, and then be like, oh well, all the polls that say he's bad, they're just fake news. And then it's whenever it says Trump's bad, we say it's fake news, and when it says it's good, we're like, yes, it proves that I'm right. And I know I'm doing that right now, but I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. But I think that we knew the last few months when the polls said that Trump was down, that we knew that he was probably up. We just knew that those were not right. So I think that the new polls that are reflecting that, I think that they're coming closer to reality than the previous ones. So that's how I'll justify it. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get back to the this live stream from the DNC. Let's try this one more time here. Oh no. Oh man. Jeez. That's just really sad. You almost feel bad. Oh man. It hurts to watch, guys. It really hurts to watch. Oh yeah. All right. Let's cut away from that. Let's see here. So this one's not quite from the convention per se, but it was a story that came out this week that was related to the Democrats in general, and I thought it was pretty funny. Hold on a second here. Let's see here. So yesterday, the Washington Post put out a article titled, quote, Kamala Harris's dad was from Jamaica, where a fierce woman warrior once fought slavery. That was the title. So a couple of reasons why that's funny. So the article is basically kind of the quality that you would expect from the Washington Post, which is none. The article was just literally that her dad was from a place that this good person was from, and therefore Kamala is also good, which is just, oh man, that is Mensa level logicking right there. I just, the media, we are blessed. Really, Americans are blessed to have a media that has such high intellectuals in it. They're so smart, you guys. You're just brilliant geniuses. So we're really blessed to have that. It's kind of funny that they ran this article, though, because Kamala's dad, the person that the article is supposedly about, her dad is on record as saying that her family, him personally, descended from prolific slaveholders in Jamaica. Like, their family was like one of the most prolific slaveholders in all of Jamaica, like as recently as 3 generations ago. Like, it was not forever ago. It was like Kamala's great grandmother. So I don't really think that that's relevant to her now, except for the fact that Democrats continuously want to make that relevant. They want to make it relevant that, again, like nobody, like very, very, very few people alive today can trace their ancestry back to American slaveholders, just because of how much immigration we had. And a lot of those, even if you can probably also trace your ancestry back to slaves. There is a lot of mixing, which is great. And that was generations ago, like 5 to 10 generations ago. Not that it didn't happen, not that there's not effects from it, but it was a long time ago. And the Democrats want to make that like it, the 1619 Project. They want to make it like it was yesterday. Well, if 10 generations ago Americans held slaves was yesterday, then 3 generations ago Kamala's family holding slaves was like 2 minutes ago. So, let's not throw stones when we're living here in glass slave houses, Kamala. But it's kind of funny that the Washington Post wrote this article because, again, they're saying that, again, quote, Kamala Harris's dad was from Jamaica, where a fierce woman warrior fought slavery. So they're trying to make this link that, like, Kamala Harris's family is from this, like, the same place as, like, prolific slave fighters. I'm from America, which was, the country where prolific slave, fighting slavery, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln was from. So I guess I get to claim that same ancestry as well. But it's kind of funny because if this woman warrior was fighting slavery in Jamaica, it's highly likely she was fighting against Kamala's ancestors who were holding slaves on the island. So in all likelihood, if that woman was fighting for the end of slavery, she was fighting against Kamala's family. Which is just, man, the irony there is very, very thick. Let's see here. So let's check out chat. A little late tonight. Yes, your Griffin says he's watching Crowder at the same time. I appreciate you guys coming to watch me instead of the big guys. There's a lot of people live streaming right now, so I appreciate that you came to see me. Let's see here. We'll check on the DNC live stream here one more time, maybe, except for, oh no, my stream crashed. Let me see if I'm gonna pull back up here. No, we're almost done here, guys. No, I cannot get it back up, but I would guess it's probably because it's a train wreck, just like this stream is. So that was basically all the funniest moments that I selected for this. There was countless more, but that is basically all I got for the night, unless anybody else has anything funny that they wanted to add on the chat. There has been a lot of other much better resourced commentators that have been ripping this stuff apart. It's all very funny. I recommend watching all of it. All the conservative commentators have been just going to town on the DNC. There's a lot of reasons why it's funny, is just because of how it's just the hypocrisy. If it's not funny, it's infuriating. And it's kind of funny that the Democrats are just so blatantly hypocritical about everything, but it's dangerous at the same time. And so it's kind of like a nervous laughter when we're looking at all this stuff. And it's just, whether or not the Democrats are self-aware enough. It's funny because maybe they're not self-aware. It's like, wow, that's hilarious that you're so unself-aware that you think that this was a good idea, or it's just that they don't care, that they just like that they would put someone like Warren as the representative of the Native Americans. Like, that's funny because they're either so unself-aware about it that they thought it would be a good idea, or it's, you know, it's scary because they just don't care what you think and it doesn't really matter. And that's kind of what I think that they're, at this point, I think that's what their strategy is going to be for the election, is that they know that they're not going to win and they're starting to put all their eggs in the cheating basket. Well, they've been doing that for a long time. But certainly the next 4, if you guys enjoyed the last 4 years of Russiagate, wait for the next 4 years of Mailboxgate. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. I'm very excited for all the hearings about it. Speaking of which, there is kind of a side story that I personally want to talk about. I just, like, in passing, I don't have like any big breakdown on it, but you guys might remember a few weeks ago I did a breakdown on Brett Weinstein's Unity project and how Brett had selected as his quote unquote perfect right-leaning centrist was former Rear Admiral McRaven. And I had gone through quite a bit of tearing McRaven apart because he's not the best of characters, in my opinion. But McRaven this week treated the world to an op-ed in the Washington Post. And a Navy Admiral McRaven that Brett Weinstein thought was the perfect right-leaning centrist out of all Americans, McRaven wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post this week ascribing to the Trump is stealing the mailboxes conspiracy theory. McRaven believes that. So just to add on to, I think McRaven's a dirtbag. You can add that on there, that he's also a conspiracy theorist, and he thinks that Trump's stealing the mailboxes. Very high integrity, high intelligence person right there. So, again, like I said, that's all we got for the night. I thank you very much for watching and choosing us over all the other better staffed streams. Don't want to be too self-deprecating, but I have to be a little bit because Dyer's not here. He expects that yeah. Anyways, so Dyer will be back with me on Sunday, not Saturday. I will be busy again this weekend. I won't be next weekend though, so we'll be back on Saturday, 2 Saturdays from now. But this week we'll be back on Sunday for a Saturday night or for a Sunday night weekly news recap, which I promise we won't skip this time unless we do. But we will see you guys then. Thank you very much for joining. Trevize signing off.